Hi, Eric. My wife, after a long reflection that lasted almost 2 years, we decided to open a French factory located in Normandy. This factory will allow us to sell and make available the spas at a price 2 or 3 times lower than the market price. In fact, our wish was to sell directly from the factory to the private individual.
No reseller.
No reseller in order to save the obligatory margins by going through the distributors. We're going to present you the whole factory with the most total transparency in order to make you discover our spa.
Well, Eric, explain to me how we can have a price 2 to 3 times lower than the market price.
Well, it's quite simple to understand, quite simple and complicated. So that's what I did for 15 years. I brought my spas abroad. Obviously, I brought from a factory which took its margin. I took my margin by buying large quantities. Then I sold to the specialist who still took a margin to end up with the individual. The fact of passing directly from the factory to the private individual eliminates two intermediaries, which means that today a spa which was brought, why not in the 3 or 4 thousand euros in a factory, ended up 13,000 euros at a private individual. So we're not saying that margin is prohibitive, they're normal. People have structures, that is, the importer is the shop, they have the obligation to take margins, they have technicians, they intervene in the shops. And now I'm going to explain to you why we managed to sell directly to individuals.
So, Eric, what allows you to sell directly from the factory? What have you put in place?
We had to register more than 12 patents. I have 180 pages of patent registrations. So we had to work on a lot of things to avoid taking on technicians and deliver directly to customers. So there are a lot of points. We're going to tackle them all together, whether it's the weight, the technology, the economy. There are plenty of parameters that will allow us to sell it directly from the factory. So here we are in the main workshop where we assemble all the spas. So to understand, the polyethylene shell arrives from Brittany. So as you can see, we drill all the holes. So we have about 50 holes to make, which is done by 1 or 2 people. Then we move on to phase 2, the assembly of the jets. So all the jets are assembled using silicone membrane to seal the interior and exterior, and then we simply fix our jets on top. So that's what's going to happen in phase 2. Phase 3 is the glugging of the pipes. I repeat, there are practically 180 pipe gluing operations, so that's what will happen in workshop number 3. So here we glue all our pipes, both the air pipes for the ventry system and the water pipes that we put underneath. So once we've done that, our spa is properly finished for the equipment. We obviously also have the whole phase of the LED connections that have to be installed as well. The last phase, which is important, is all the technical modules. So here we have the technical mold assembly line. So to explain, all the parts come from Canada. From the LEDs to the pumps to the blower and the controller, all the technical parts come from Canada in order to have an irreproachable reliability. Then we go to the test bench, where we have a test bench where we constantly test our pumps, our heaters, in order to check that everything works well. So there we have the really technical part of the assembly line, which allows us to make the spa. Let's start by talking about weight. The weight, which is a fundamental element for transport, logistics, and obviously the installation at the private home. A traditional spa, such as we see it there, I put one in example, it's approximately 450 kilograms. Now why 450 kilograms? First of all, it's an acrylic shell with fiberglass, insulation, frames which will be made of wood or aluminium, and above all the mechanics which are integrated inside the spa, which makes 450 kilograms. So we have to use lifting equipment, cranes, technical means that are expensive, which can vary from 500 to 1,000 euros or even 1,500 euros if we have to take a helicopter to put the spa in specific places, which I have already done in my 15 years of experience. So I explained to you that it was necessary to avoid using this kind of expensive means due to the weight. So I invented a roto-molded spa. This material is polyethylene, as we'll see it on this model. It's a lightweight model, which means 130 kilograms. I'll show you that it's a light shell. It's a shell in two parts, with a lower shell and an upper shell. An upper shell which is about 60 kilograms and a lower shell which is about 70 kilograms. My wife is going to help me lift the spa to show you how light the spa is. This is an ultralight spa which can be carried vertically or horizontally and can be stored wherever you want. It's a spa that can be used indoors or outdoors, so you can try it out. Why not? Some people hesitate between inside and outside. Here it's more of a problem. You can test it outside and then bring it in for winter in a room at home. This is what will make the difference between a 450 kilogram spa and a 130 kilogram spa.
A traditional spa is on average 220 by 220 by 90 for a 5 or 6 seater. What about Mouv'Spa?
So, in fact, on a real spa, I'm talking about a nice 5 or 6 seater spa. The standard size is 200 by 200 by 90 centimeters. You have to understand that this spa was designed thanks to my old molds, which were 220 by 220 by 90. We have exactly the same interior morphology as these spas, but the fact that we no longer have a frame on the periphery meant that we were able to scrape 10 centimeters off the entire perimeter, including the underside. So, today we have a spa that will allow people to be comfortable in comfortable places, and it's a spa that represents the interior level equal to a 220 by 90, so you'll be perfectly comfortable. The Mouv'Spa has a dimension of 2 meters by 2 meters by 78 centimeters, which will allow it to pass through a door easily. That is to say that with 2 people, you can carry the spa through your house and out into your garden or into your house. So I repeat, 2 meters by 78 centimeters.
Can you recess our spa?
So, obviously all spas can be recessed. The difficulty is access to the spa. On a traditional spa, we have to leave a passage for the technician to work on the 4 sides. On our spa, we found another solution. Since we have a shell which is completely waterproof, we can embed the spa on 3 sides. And obviously, on the side of the mold, we'll have to leave access. It can also be semi-recessed, for which you must leave the technical module. So it is 40 centimeters high. The location of the technical module is 90 centimeters by 90 centimeters. Don't forget the recess for the spa, which is 2 meters by 2 meters. To embed the spa completely, which is feasible, you have to come under the edge to the ground, which is 69 millimeters. If you respect these measurements, you can build the spa in easily and without the help of a technician who will have to come to your house. If the spa is built-in or semi-recessed, it's absolutely necessary that the technical module is at the same level or lower than the bottom of the spa. Why? Because for the spa to work, water must have a gravity flow. They're not pumps that suck, so the water must be able to reach the pump naturally. So if you're higher, it won't work. so you must be at the same level or lower. If you make a hole, if it's you who make a hole, and that you do not have a gravitational evacuation, think of putting a pump of raising, i.e. dug deeper, to have safety not to flood the technical module. I'm going to present to you now the technical module which is part of the main patent of this spa, which will allow, especially in the case of after-sales service, not to have to call in a technician, as I already explained to you earlier. Normally all the equipment is in the spa. Today I decided to put it in the staircase. I'm presenting the staircase, so this is what is delivered with the spa. It simply lifts up via a cover. This is the technical unit. So what does the technical unit consist of? First of all, it's composed of a 3 horsepower pump from Gecko. I repeat, all the electronics come from Gecko Canada, which is the number 2 in the world where you can find all parts on the internet. We've put all the reference of the parts on our website to show you that the parts are accessible everywhere. This technical module is going to be connected to our spa via a water inlet, so a simple screw. From there, it goes into the pump, comes out of the pump to go to a 3 kilowatt heater, comes out of the spa, and goes into the massage jets. That's all that concerns the water. Underneath that we have the blower, so that's all the air, and the same quick connection via a 1-inch hose that we connect it to. All this is managed by a YJ3 from Gecko. This is the main board where all of the parts are connected via plugs easy to connect. No need for a screwdriver, so after the warranty, in case of problems, you can intervene. We send you the part, you plug the connector that is in the control box, and you have the problem solved. Here you have the main control keyboard, which will allow you to do all the programming. So all this has been done for the after-sales service. The real problem is the after-sales service. It's everyone's concern. It's how to proceed in the event of a breakdown. During the 2-year guarantee, it's simple. I'm the one who sends the technical module first, so you'll receive this technical module in a specific box from the transporter and do a standard exchange. He'll give you the module and get the old one back. That's what will happen during the guarantee. Outside of this guarantee, there are 2 solutions. Either you don't know anything at all and you don't want to find the fault, or we do the opposite. You send me the technical module for about €30 to go and €30 back, obviously at your expense. From there, the technical module arrives at our workshop, we test it, we give you an estimate for repairing the part that is faulty, and we send you back the repaired module. The second solution is that you can repair it yourself. So it's quite simple. How does it work? We have an electrical panel that has plugs and that connect to the heater, the pump, the blower, and the keyboard. So by elimination, like your electrical cabinet, I put the circuit breaker at the bottom. I switch off everything. I switch it back on, and I go forward little by little, and if the part blows up the whole thing, obviously, you'll have found the fault. I also forgot one important thing. It comes with a 10-meter long cable that you can connect wherever you want. I think you saw it in the other videos at the installation level. So, this is really the technical revolution that will make it possible not to go through distributors. I repeat that the aim is to have the most attractive price possible and therefore, obviously, avoid going through technicians. So this is really the big revolution. This technical module can be completely remote, i.e. it can be moved 2-3 meters, it can be placed wherever you want. So I hope I've answered all of your questions about after-sales service, which is very, very important.
So can we deport our technical module?
Yes, that's the advantage of our spa compared to a traditional spa where everything is integrated into the spa and you can't import the technical module. But at Mouv'Spa, we can take the technical module and move it wherever we want. We are limited to 3 meters, but we can easily put it outside your terrace or under your terrace, outside the house without any problem. Of course, you have to talk to us beforehand and we'll give you a quote to provide you with all the piping to connect it, but it's easy to put it outside.
So what is the heating system?
Well, on the spa, like many spas, it's a heater, so it's electric. So it's a Gecko 3 kilowatt that will allow you to heat the spa easily.
And then we can put a heat pump.
Well, it's a frequently asked question. A heat pump, for information, can only work up to 30 degrees Celsius, and as the range of use of the spa and the optimal use is 37 degrees, we won't be able to heat the whole thing with a heat pump. So today, we don't have any manufacturer of a heat pump that could work with a traditional spa, except if you were to heat to 30 degrees, but at 30 degrees, you're not going to enjoy your spa. So obviously for people who don't know about spas, you might think that in a spa you are active, you move around like in a swimming pool, the water is good, but no, if you're inactive in a spa you're going to get cold, so it doesn't work.
How long does it take to heat the spa?
When you just put the water coming out from the tap, which is about 7 degrees Celsius, to raise it to 37 degrees, it takes about 10 hours. You prepare your spa during the day, you let it heat up at night, and the next morning your spa is hot.
And you have to leave it on all the time?
It's a frequent question, it's a relevant question. It's a bit like a house heater. Do you have to turn it off while you're away for 3 days and turn it back on again because you've just arrived? Technically, I would say no. A spa must run all the time. It will regulate itself. It will turn the heating on, turn it up, turn it down, turn it up again, and this will allow for a regular and permanent consumption. It's better than saying I'll turn it off and 3-4 days later I'll put it back on, because it will already be running at 100%, and moreover, it won't be ready when you want it to be. The point of a spa is to enjoy it, so imagine arriving in the spa and it being cold. What a shame. It is, therefore, I repeat, a question of letting it heat up permanently.
Eric, what is internal overflow?
Well, internal overflow is one of my main patents. I've had a lot of problems with after-sales service due to spa overflow. So what is spa overflow? On a standard spa, the water is obviously inside your spa and the water will go through the skimmer. The skimmer is where the water goes to the pump to be filtered and back into the spa. You have to know that the traditional design of a spa, if you put a spa for 5 people, one person moves about 60 litres at each insertion into the spa. So that means that in a 5-place spa, it's about 300 litres of water that will rise. So obviously, the manufacturers have planned for this to happen very well. If you get 5 people in, the water will come to the edges. But if you are more, or you move, the water will go out of the spa. When you get out of the spa, there will be a delay, obviously, and so that will cause breakdowns. In the heater, there is a sensor that checks if there is water flowing through, and if there is not enough water, the spa will go into default. On the control panel, there will be an alarm that warns you of a lack of water. And so, in my 15 years of experience, I've had a lot of people call me because they didn't have the manual and they were asking us why their spa wasn't working, and we were explaining that it was just a water problem. I'm going to explain how I invented a spa with internal overflow. Basically, when people enter the spa, the water goes through a stainless steel overflow grid made in Villedieu-les-Poêles, so in Normandy. The water goes through this grid down into a lower tank, a 100% watertight tank, which will make up for the excess water linked to the insertion of people. I explained to you earlier that if I put 5 or 6 people in the spa, 5 people are at 300 litres of water, which will go into the lower tank and which will be sucked up by the pump and sent back by the jets, which means that the water level will always be the same. So this spa, whether you are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people, the water will not overflow and you will not have a fault on your control panel.
Eric, what are the risks of leaks on a spa?
Well, that's one of the problems where we're obliged to have technicians intervene. On a standard spa, we have a huge number of pipes. We have practically 200 glued pipes. Whether the spa comes from China, France, or the United States, we still have people who are on pipes and who glue them manually. So there's always a significant risk of leakage. And I've explained to you from the start that the aim is not to intervene in people's homes. So that's part of my patent for the internal overflowing shell. So here is the upper shell with all the pipes that you can see underneath. So obviously we do everything to avoid leaks as much as possible, but human error is forgivable and can happen. So the fact of having this watertight shell. So you've understood that this shell is integrated into the watertight shell, and I explained to you earlier that the overflow would send water inside, and obviously if there was a leak you wouldn't see it, but if there was a leak it would necessarily be absorbed in the lower tank and taken up by the pump to come back out into the main tank. So I'm not saying that our spa can't leak, but if it did, you wouldn't even notice it.
How do you fill the spa?
So the spa is filled like any other spa, with a simple hose. You take the hose, you fill your spa, wait until you're at the right level, and then turn the water off.
Okay, and what about emptying it?
So to empty it, our spa empties like others. So obviously we have two basins, the upper and lower one. To empty the upper basin, you have a plug to remove to allow the water to pass into the lower basin. And once the water is in the lower basin, we have a drain hose with a valve, or here you can connect a garden hose easily.
And we can also make a fixed system without any problems?
Yes, we also get requests for indoor or outdoor spas if we can bring in water without having to bring in a garden hose and connect it directly. So we can do it the other way around. We put a bypass on the drain. We put two valves, one that allows the water to enter the spa and another that will allow the water to be drained. So it's called a bypass, and then you can join the network that you want.
In terms of insulation, how is our spa insulated?
So obviously insulation is very important. Why? First of all, in relation to energy, if you start to lose heat, the heating will start up too regularly and obviously consume electricity. So to understand, I'll explain how it works. We have about 100 litres of water in the upper part and 200 litres of water in the lower part, so 20 centimetres of water at the foot of the spa. So it's this 20 centimetres of water that we need to isolate. Vertically, we have first the natural insulation of the shell plus 2 layers of aluminium with PVC in between, which makes a good lateral insulation, which is more than enough. Underneath, it's true that it was a real problem. We had to insulate to prevent thermal bridges between the floor and the entire bottom of the spa, because there we have the water on the entire floor of 4 meters squared, which permanently touches the cold, and this was one of the problems I encountered when I developed the spa. We solved it via rot-proof foams, also manufactured in France from recycled material that we put before installing the spa. So it's 2 sheets of 1 meter by 2 meters to be placed where the spa is going to be put. And now there are no more worries. The spa heats up perfectly well. We tried the spa in winter with winter temperatures. The spa regulates quietly at 37 degrees and we have optimum insulation. Obviously there's still the top, so we chose a thermal insulation cover that is 10 centimeters in the middle and 6 on the ends to avoid water stagnation that could damage the spa cover. This is also a modification I made because usually the covers are rather straight. So here we have an insulation, whether it's the bottom, the sides or the top. Your spa is insulated perfectly well and will operate using the minimum of energy.
Why did you put 2 keypads on the spa?
Indeed, the number one problem of all the after-sales service I've had in 15 years was the deprogramming of the keypad. It sounds silly, but it's the same thing as your TV remote control where there are many buttons, but you always use the same ones. So I decided to avoid explaining to each customer how to set up the spa again by putting in the technical module, a control keypad. This keypad allows you to set the temperature, the economic modes, the filtration modes, the wintering mode, so a panel of commands. So I added a second simplified keyboard on top of the spa with 3 buttons, one that starts the massage pump, one that activates the blower, and the last one, the lights. So no more risk of deprogramming, whether it's the children, small children, tenants, anyone who could unintentionally deprogram the spa will not be able to deprogram the spa, so a real security.
What material is the exterior cladding made of?
So the exterior cladding is made of aluminium, 2 layers of aluminium with PVC in between, so 3mm. Why aluminium? Because it's a material that won't deform. It's the same material as the advertising signs you see everywhere, so it's a material that is very solid, unlike a traditional spa. On a traditional spa, the cladding is made of bicomposite, i.e. PVC mixed with wood, and in my 15 years of experience, I've had a lot of problems with deformation, discoloration due to exposure to the sun, and even cracks. So this is an element that was very important to me. With this bicomposite aluminium panel, we're really dealing with a product that is reliable.
And we can change the colours and patterns?
So we only sell one colour in anthracite, as you can see here, but it is easy to decorate. We're on a smooth surface, so you can go and see a publicist who can make poppies or ladybirds if you want them, but also imitation stone or wood, so you can easily decorate the spa or even change the colour of the aluminium.
Eric, how many jets do we have on this spa?
Well, the spa has a total of 48 jets. So there are 2 functions of jets. We have 1, all the vertical jets, so we have 32 vertical massage jets. Massage done with the venturi system, that is to say that we have air that arrives at the same time as the water, so all the vertical jets that you can see are caused by the pump. The 4 large jets in the middle of the seats are 2 directional jets and 2 rotary jets. So that's 32 massage jets. We also have 16 horizontal jets that send air, so it's the blower system. It's a 1 horsepower pump that sends air into the spa and creates bubbles, so in total, 48 jets.
And the massage, can you change the power?
Well, that's part of an option that I didn't want to put on the spa, i.e. on a standard spa you have a valve on the side that allows you to distribute the power on one side or the other, obviously to the detriment of other seats. For example, on a 6-seater you can only keep 3 seats active and close the other seats on the other side. I didn't put it on our spa because of the problems we have with it regularly. I've had to replace a lot of them, because I'm explaining to you that this famous diverter valve says it can only be used when the pump is off, so you have to turn the pump off and then activate this valve. Unfortunately, people use this valve regularly and it cracks, and at some point it explodes. It's a pump that sends out 50 meters cubed per hour, which means that in 1 minute 30 your spa is empty. If you're outside, no worries, but inside, It's already happened to me in my 15 years of experience. I've seen damage in houses where the water was spread all over the walls and the customers had to redo their entire room. So as far as I'm concerned, putting this diverter valve is out of the question. We are talking about a soft massage spa. You will not have a powerful massage because it's the technology of this spa. If you want much more powerful spas, you'll have to put more pump. Knowing that a pump is about 30 jets maximum, that's what makes the difference in price. Many people ask us the difference between a spa at 10k and another one at 20k. Obviously, the more you put materials and options, the more expensive it is. On the old spas I sold, for example, I had 122 jets and 3 pumps. Today we're at 32 jets, so we respect the specifications. So it's the same power as all the other spas, except that you can't deviate power and therefore increase it.
How does the filtration work?
The filtration is really important. We explained earlier the story of the overflow with 100% filtered water, so all the water will go through the lower shell, will then go through the filter. The filter is underneath the stairs, so you just have to unscrew the case, pull, and there you have your filter. This filter is to be changed every 6 months or 1 year. It's worth €29.90, so don't hesitate to change it regularly because obviously it's the lung of your spa. You have to clean it regularly. You'll have to see according to the dirtiness of your filter. Look at the state in which it is. To wash it, there are several solutions. You can put it in the dishwasher. Others will advise the brush. I sometimes wash it with the Karcher from time to time. What is recommended is to take a second filter in advance so you can quickly intervene on it. You may take out the dirty filter, you may put back the clean one, and then you have time to clean the other one, so maintenance is not expensive on the spa.
Is there chromotherapy in the spa? The benefits of light?
Yes, the spa is equipped with 22 LEDs, where you can change all the colours. So there are 2 positions, either a position where the colours will change automatically, or a position where you will choose the colour that you want.
In terms of energy consumption, how much does it cost?
This is a complex question. It's difficult to answer this question of energy cost, which is very important, because it will depend on many parameters. If you are like here in Normandy or on the French Riviera, if you're indoors or outdoors, do you frequently go to your spa? These are fundamental elements in order to answer this question and calculate the price of consumption. On the other hand, I can give you the price of ours here, which is in test of mid-December until the end of June, by leaving it turned permanently to 37 degrees without being used but outside with temperatures like -5 degrees in the night and 10 degrees in the day. We've consumed €1.37 per day and thus approximately €45 per month. This is the actual consumption of our spa here. We can't give our customers an exact figure because each customer will have a consumption cost specific to their case. We will keep you informed of an average of our customers once we've collected this important information.
And what about water consumption?
It's the same for electricity. Some people wash themselves before entering the spa, others use sun cream, others lose their hair, children, evenings, so the water must be clean at all times. We know that at the levels of treatments we have chlorine and bromine pebbles, it doesn't matter. That's what will purify our water. Afterwards, it must also be changed from time to time. For example, we have a child when he invites all of his friends to the spa, we change the water not long afterwards. The change of water is quite quick. It's that 1 meter cubed and a half, it's €4 to €5 per change. So you can do it from time to time. Let's take an example of a couple that goes in just once in a while. They can change their water every quarter. A large family can be more often. It will really depend there again on the use of each. You're going to make that decision. Nobody will be able to give you precise figures. In the professional environment of campsites, yes, 100% of the water is changed between each client. If one day you go to a campsite, rest assured that they are obliged to change the water between each tenant and to have a clean one. It depends on the behaviour of each person. Concerning water treatment, we spoke about filtration earlier. Now we're going to talk about treatments. The treatment is easy. I recommend a 4-in-1, so it's chlorine mixed with an anti-algae, clarifier and stabilizer. So the principle is simple. It's 20 grams tablets. There's only one hole on the spa where you can put the tablet. These tablets are going to be put in once a week. They're slow release tablets, so the spa is going to be treated easily. So I recommend chlorine with 4-in-1. There are people who prefer bromine. Know that spa resists all types of treatment depending on your wishes. Don't worry about that.
Is it possible to winterize the spa?
Yes, there are 3 solutions to winterize the spa. The first one that I recommend and that I practice and that we practice in Normandy is to use it all year round. The objective, because it's an object of pleasure, of care, it's therefore used all year round. It's very pleasant to use it outside in winter. We have one outside in winter. There's no problem with that. Obviously, it's possible to winterize. 2 solutions. One, on the control box, you can put it in winterizing mode, so it means the heater will always heat to 1 or 2 degrees, which will prevent the water from freezing, or you empty it completely. You drain the 2 basins, and if it's really cold, it's also best to remove the technical module I showed you how to do and put it inside so that there your spa is perfectly winterized.
Is Mouv'Spa ecological?
So ecology, especially nowadays, it's very important. So it's ecological on 4 points. Firstly, the routing. You have to know that 95% of spas come mainly from Asia and also from the United States, so with a considerable carbon footprint, whereas here, where the shell is made in Brittany, we have about 60 kilometers to arrive here, contrary to the 15,000 kilometers with container doors, so obviously the carbon footprint is not the same. Afterwards, the most important element is also the recycling of a standard spa, which is made of acrylic with fiberglass and PU to insulate it. These 3 materials together cannot be recycled, so today it is a real problem. We have a lot of customers who want us to recover their spa, but we can't do anything with it. We have chosen a polyethylene shell for our spa, which is a word that may not mean much to you. It's like plastic, but it can be 100% recycled. That is to say that I wouldn't have any problem taking it back from you. We'll put it in pieces and use it to make our stairs so that we have an environmentally friendly product. The third ecological point is electricity. Unlike spas with 3, 4 or 5 pumps in total, we have a single pump that connects to 16 amp. So we have a spa that is responsible in terms of energy consumption for a spa of this size and quality. The last point is obviously water consumption. We were talking about overflowing water. With our anti-overflow system, water waste is significantly reduced. We can therefore consider that today we have one of the most ecological spas on the market. So here I'm going to show you the spa upstairs, how it works. I explained that we had 2 control keypads. The spa is 37 degrees Celsius, so we don't hear it spinning. I'm going to put it into first gear. Here's the noise the spa makes each time it heats up. Here it is. The cover is missing. We must be between 30 and 35 decibels, so we're on a really quiet noise, so we're quiet on that. When I press to switch to massage mode, obviously I switch to second gear, so 53 meters cubed per hour, and then we start the spa. So as I told you earlier, all the vertical jets are water and air massage jets, so the venturi system, and there you have soft massage. I can turn off the massage, and now I activate all of the horizontal jets that will trigger the blower, the compressor that you can hear. So it's all the air bubbles that will go up. Possibility of culminating everything, that is to say that I will add the massage and the last important button, the chromotherapy. We talked about it. That is to say the light where I can select the colours that I want. The 3 functions of the spa are in action, which gives this result. We're going to talk to you now about the accessories that are optional. It's not compulsory, it's small accessories like, for example, the cover lifter. So the isothermal cover is not heavy, it's 17 kilos. 2 meters by 2 meters when it's folded, 2 meters by 1 meter. But we never know what to do with it, so we put it on the ground, so its leatherette gets damaged quickly. So if it's indoors, it's not too serious, but outdoors on tiles or wood after 3 or 4 years, it's likely to be damaged. We recommend a cover lifter. My wife will show you how to use it. So it's an aluminium cover lifter with a pneumatic jack. So you just have to slide the cover in, like this. Press the jack. And to lift it, you have to tilt it back without forcing it and do the opposite movement again. So another accessory which is also practical for cleaning heavy particles such as small stones. It's very unpleasant to enter a spa with small impurities, and it's very difficult to avoid that, so it can affect your comfort. So we sell a rechargeable Hoover. Unlike what exists in general, it's more battery-powered Hoovers. So it's rechargeable by USB. It's telescopic, so it can also be used for swimming in your pool. It's important to be able to go further. It starts up via a small switch, and you put it in the water, and there you'll be able to suck up the little bits of grass, the pebbles, everything that can drag in the bottom of the spa. Once you've finished, turn off the Hoover, wait for the water to evacuate, and then you turn it down a quarter of a turn, and inside there's an anti-return valve that will keep all the impurities, so that you can empty it somewhere else than your spa. So it's a very practical product that will help you in your maintenance. Last accessory, which is less focused on maintenance, is our floating bar. We're quite proud to make it because everyone has floating bars but inflatable, which often burst, so there we decided to make a rigid floating bar made in Brittany. We even have the symbol of Brittany. I'm now going to show you how well it floats in the spa in action. Go blower. Here it is. It floats very well, exists in 5 colours, and can obviously go in all the swimming pools. Other elements are the dishwasher safe glasses, also made in France. They exist in wine glasses, mojito glasses, whiskey glasses, or champagne glasses. Ideal to spend a pleasant moment in the spa, relaxing with a small cup. What could be better? So to conclude, if you're looking for a reliable spa, full of colour, quality, and very French, which comes from us, as we say in Normandy, come to Mouv'Spa and we will be there and happy to help you.